Back to scripted videos we are. Sick of semi-organized rambles, I am. Hello everybody, I'm ShadowsReign, and today we are going to help you make better choices in Warzone. I can't help you make better life choices, as I have no experience in making good life choices myself. However, I do have experience in making good choices in Verdansk, so let's get into it. I'm going to be covering decision making from the situations you're going to find yourself in the most. Niche situations like when to be cocky and teabag your downed opponent we'll cover another day, but the answer to that is whenever possible. Legit, it triggers the opponent and has them swearing instead of communicating properly. You should try it. I'm going to start with a situation you're going to get yourself into almost every game when you're with a team. Reviving. When to revive, when to ignore your gimp, and how to handle a situation when you or a teammate is knocked. So before we break that down, you need to understand the maths. Sounds obvious, but you'd be shocked how easy this is to forget when you're in the heat of the moment. So any situation where anyone is rezzing somebody on your team is 2 players down and covering a lot less ground. So this means if you're a trio and you're rezzing a picked player, your team is 3v1. Not great odds. Admittedly, 3v2 isn't great either if you let them die, and rezzing a player is a good way to balance the odds once more. We'll cover if you should res or not in a sec, but for now let's look at that 3v1 stat. Now, who do you want on that 3v1? Your 0.6 KD player who can barely string a sentence together, or the 1.5 KD player who can statistically reliably do in 2 people before taking a knock. Yes, a 1.5 KD is a ratio of 2 kills to 1 death. Sounds obvious when I put it like that, doesn't it? Your weaker player of the 2 alive performs the res. Same applies to quads, obviously. I have 2 categories I judge this one on. If there is any category 1, I will attempt to or send someone else to attempt to res. So what is a category 1? Let's get right into that. So let's cover when you'll be reviving and when to leave your teammate to succumb to their fate. There is only 2 things you need to consider for a category 1 if they don't have a self-res. And those are elevation and range. Do you have a significant high ground advantage? And are you outside a 7-second sprint range and or out of grenade range? If the answer is yes to one or both of these, you can revive. If you want to, of course. I'd leave sandbag Ben till after the fight, not gonna lie. But I'm a bit of a cunt. These are the 2 quick ways you can decide under pressure. So if you have the high ground or if you're outside of sprint range and grenade range, easy decision, get the res off. Or send someone to get the res off. Of course, there are other variables. Category 2, I call them. Now, for these, I need 2 or more to be in play before sending the lowest KD player of our remaining squad to res. Unless I say otherwise, which I'll get into in a second. These are variable situations that address and take into consideration risk and reward, such as is it your carry that's down? If it is, then you are at a greater reward for the same amount of risk. Is there plenty of cover? Have they spent their grenades? As in the enemy spent their grenades, is my teammate able to cover and punish anyone who overextends for the push? Is anyone we've knocked getting rezzed? Do we have more players alive than them? Do we have any kill streaks ready? Do we know where everyone on their team is? No, if one person on their team is not accounted for, I need 3 category 2 criteria before rezzing. I also have a controversial factor, which completely disregards everything I've just said. Can I bait my downed ally to pick off 1 or more players from the other team? Yes, I know this is a bit of a douchebag thing to do, but I did say I was a bit of a cunt. Now, in all seriousness, often baiting a teammate can actually lead to a res being a lot safer. How, I hear you ask? Well, because you often kill the most aggressive member of their team in doing this, and flip the chessboard round to favour you. You can also put their team under pressure, where they will back off or go all in, which often leads to them making mistakes, which will often promote the down teammate to a category 1 from a category 2. The difference between the good players and the truly great players is turning every situation to their advantage, and baiting a teammate is a simple and effective way in doing this. I don't mind doing this to my teammates, especially if I know they've got a gulag, and if we've got the cash to buy them back as a team. This is how you can consistently get the decision to res or not right. This area alone will increase your KD, increase the fights that you win, obviously, and in general help mold you into making better decisions under pressure. You can use this in reverse when pushing your knocks as well. So, for example, is the person I just knocked at a significant high ground advantage or just out of pushing and grenade range? If so, don't risk the hard push. Just wait for another advantage and then decide. Can I limit how safe it is for them to go for the res and bait them to go for a res using any of the category 2s? If they don't have any category 2s, can I push the advantage and win the fight? Just by answering these questions in reverse, you can decide if you should push or create more of an advantage. Remember, it's all about assessing risk and reward and playing smarter, not harder, even for aggressive teams. Now, guys, I was going to make a full video about, like, all the different things and decisions that you should be making regarding this. However, I think that just this resin section alone is actually quite large enough to make into its own video, and it makes it more digestible for you guys as well. So I will make more videos on this topic, as I was planning on making them in this video. But, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button below and consider subscribing if you're new here to the channel. If you do prefer the scripted versions of these videos, let me know too. Until then, guys, I'm ShadowsReign, you're awesome, and I will see you in the next A1A ShadowsReign video. Peace.